by people who care about it. Seems like the wedding was beautiful as every woman wants.
Oh, yeah. Big train on her dress.
Yeah, that's like isn't that a thing? Don't you have to if you're getting like royally married or something like that?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We should talk fashion more.
Yeah, definitely. People love comic books, Ray. That's why they need to go to the Marvelous Johnson website.
Boy, I gotta tell you, Patrick, I don't know if it's too late in life. You might want to look and change your name to Johnson.
Yeah.
Quote, who needs Steve anyway?
Yeah.
Put that on our Billboard.
Yeah, they didn't want, like, Shaq coming over and doing a slamma-jamma.
Yeah, that's what they called it. Let's see, it was 1998. He was with the Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
And there was, a Howard Cosell maybe at that time. And there's Shaq with another slamma-jamma.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, I know my basketball. Slamma-jamma.
That's right, Steve. You know your basketball, like you said right there.
I know my hoops.
What were your thoughts? A couple big games the last few nights. You had Boston, Cleveland, Game 6. You had Golden State, Houston, Game 6 the last 2 nights. Quite a game last night, right?
Yeah, but look, what can I say about it that hasn't been said already, right?
Well, it's only been 12 hours. I think the takes are still fresh. If you want to 1-800-SPORTS-TATE, if you want to hit us up there for your sports tates this week.
That was 1-800-SPRT and then T8.
The number 8 for reasons to be explained later.
Kind of sounds like take.
Yeah. Kind of. So that's the number, 1-800-SPORTS-TATE. And you can then compare your hot Golden State Houston Rockets takes with Steve, who's about to give us his rundown on that roller coaster of a Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals last night. Take it away.
Well, when they first hit the court, I knew that it was going to be a great game.
It was a 29-point blowout.
All right, that's one. We talked before this, before we started, not to change the subject from hoops.
Well, we'll get back to it. Trust me, I'll make sure of that.
We'll get back to hoops. I've been sick, actually, since it's 1 week now. It was a week ago today that we recorded, and I woke up that morning like, my throat feels a little off. And then by the end of last Sunday, I was like, everything ached. I had a fever. It was awful. Hasn't gone away yet. Feel a decent amount better, but I'm probably still at like 60% or so.
Yeah.
And the one persistent thing has just been this dry cough. That's how it sounds right there. I'm not going to edit that one out.
Yeah, you can get a taste of what we do every week.
Just so you can hear, you can hear what it normally sounds like when we record. So I said I'm giving myself 15 coughs this week.
Yeah.
That's it. So I got 2 in the bag already, and we're 3 minutes and 40 seconds in.
We haven't had an episode possibly this short since the very first episode, almost exactly 2 years ago, which was... what was that? Actually, I have it open. I think it was like 45 minutes.
I thought it was like June 20.
Yeah, it was released on June 20. I think it was recorded on like April. Was that a different one? No, April was the Lost episode.
No, and it wasn't that early. It was definitely May, I think, that we recorded it, but we didn't release it for a couple weeks. Because that was recorded on a night that you and Katie came over to our house, and we had a little bonfire out in the backyard.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been too, it definitely wasn't super cold.
Are we limited on our iTunes space, do you know?
Oh, are we?
I don't know. I can only go back to August the 2nd, episode 3, and the total is 99 items.
Really? Maybe. Yeah, maybe we're limited.
Maybe those first 2 episodes, and every week, one more episode, will have gone bye-bye.
The way of the dodo.
Wow, that's why you should just go to steveandkyle.com.
Hey,
and that will, and you'll be able to sign up there. Yeah, wow, I didn't know that. So yeah, just so you know, if you subscribe through iTunes or if you can't find the first episode, that's why. Yep, doesn't show up in the library or in the store. So that's neat.
Yeah, same thing. 99.
I don't even know where we were going with that. Oh, yeah, trying to figure out how long that first episode was.
Yeah, it was actually I have it on my computer here. I could.
But yeah, so we're 2 down, 3 down. We'll cut that as 1.
Yeah.
So we're 3
Yeah,
in.
I'm not taking these out yet.
It's a bold move. It's a new creative direction for the show.
Yeah, this is raw,
Yeah.
unedited, uncensored. We're going to say all kinds of stuff that we don't normally say.
Is it safe to say we were maybe too arduous with our editing? Like maybe too good? So you've decided to scale it back?
Yeah, let the people hear what it really sounds like.
You know, I had Steve, we'd wrap up recording and he'd keep the headphones on and just stare intently at that screen. And next thing you know, he's applying different type of amplifiers to different sections of the podcast. Steve listens to the episode pretty much 3 times all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
To make sure it sounds like it's in tip-top shape. And that's why those first 29 episodes sound like we recorded them in a bat cave.
Yeah, they didn't sound so great, did they?
It was just different.
It was a different feel for the podcast.
Yeah, and the feel then was affordable equipment in a wood-floored, empty room to make sure we could all hear each other's echoes.
Now, if you want times here, I got the lost episode clocked in just under 49 minutes. It was 48:54, and then our official episode 1, an hour 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Let's
see.
All right, Kyle, this is take 2.
Oh Lord. Boy, that is...
Let's just jump right in. Give me a time.
Hour 15, so we're getting to the meat of things around like 34 minutes, Steve. 34 minutes.
34
I think we're probably hitting our stride. We've figured out all of the technical stuff. We're in a groove. We're probably talking whatever today's news was.
I had some training, and I decided it's now or never that I've got to take this trip into space.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy, that is hearkening back.
Yeah. I wonder what preceded that. What was the big guffaw from?
The timing of everything was so unfortunate with both avenues, with the radio show.
By the way, that cough was in the past episode.
Yeah, that
so
does not count towards
count
the 15 this week.
And everything else going on, that I did not want to make. I couldn't say anything to anybody, really. Obviously I'm trying to be as vague as possible here.
Yeah.
And
we didn't know that you had a possible job lined up with NASA.
Steve, how did we bring the show home? Episode 1, officially released. Let's go to like an hour and 12.
What was our big finisher?
What was the big... Did we have a big laugher where we're like, well, we got to get out on a high note. See you next week.
Well, let's actually skip all the way to the end.
Okay, last like 30 seconds, because I know for a fact we didn't have any outro music. We didn't have anything like that.
No. All right, here is the last 30 seconds.
Oh, boy.
Of episode 1 of this podcast, recorded July 19th, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
The lost show. We call it the
lost episode,
the
right?
lost episode, because a lot of it will be. We did tell a few of the same stories, but that's all right. We were drunk when we recorded that one. So.
Yeah, we told them this time a little more straight, a little more.
A little bit more. Yeah,
a little straight laced.
Boy, we brought it home.
Yeah,
down the road. Mm-hmm. But for now, that's
time.
been comedic style with Steve and Kyle.
Ah,
boy. That's 4.
I got to edit these out, man. I can't do it.
Why did anybody come back?
Well, they probably hit subscribe right off the bat because they thought they were going to get all the gossip that everybody wanted to hear at the time.
But we're 96 episodes later.
Yeah, they just still haven't hit unsubscribe yet.
Pretty safe to say, probably 175 additional hours.
Yeah.
And there's still people who listened to that and thought, maybe there's something here. You know what? Maybe it's okay that iTunes is erasing all of those.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't want those first, I don't know, what do you say, 15, 10?
Yeah, they were pretty rough.
To see the light of day on a mass scale, that's probably safe.
Yeah. So, well, I guess we may as well just end it. We're done.
We're 97. We did hit. We talked about this like 5 weeks ago.
Oh, wait. By the way, I never even finished my whole point.
You were on a point?
If I get to 15 coughs today, of which I'm at 4 already, some you may have heard, some you may have not, we're just ending this.
10 minutes in.
So if, say you're in the middle of talking about the big game last night.
Sure. So Houston, Golden State, Game 6, obviously a big deal last night, Steve. Talk about swings back and forth.
And that's it. And we're not even going to do the normal thing where we talk over the outro. That was a fake cough, by the way. It does not count towards my 15, so we're still at 4.
That's 11 minutes. So at this rate, unless I just shoulder the burden and only let you chime in with like,
we're getting to 55 minutes?
Maybe.
Oh, boy.
How many podcasts?
Be nice. An hour from now, I could be doing something that I want to be doing.
Coughing. Oh, that's, yeah. We need to start propagating that neither of us really want to be here.
Yeah.
It's like Mike and Mike towards the end where we just we sit down, we don't say anything. You say, I'm ready.
Don't look at each other.
Yeah.
You walk in 4 seconds before the on-air light comes on.
Yeah.
Like as the intro's playing. So basically, you'll have to tell me what time you're going to get here each week.
Sure.
So you can say, I'll be there at 10:08. So then at 10:07 and 45 seconds,
the music's playing.
I'm sitting here.
Staring at the door.
Yeah. Come on, man. You can do it.
Yep. I sit down, put the headphones on, we act like it's all normal.
Yeah.
That's how we do this once a week. Mm-hmm. But it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, by the way, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Yeah.
Sunday, May 27th, 2018, the year of our Lord.
Yeah, happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
Well, by the time everybody's listening, maybe we should just drop this early.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's a little Memorial Day gift.
Yeah.
A gift to the veterans.
Oh boy.
What else would they want?
That's true. If you're in the active military, retired military, and you thought, boy, appreciation is nice, but one of my friends' podcasts he listens to, because Lord knows
you don't have to be a friend. You don't have to
That's
be a friend
a good
of
point.
ours. We do consider everyone that listens to be our extended family.
Yeah. That the best gift would be 24 hours early release of an episode that might be 50 minutes.
Right. Filled with coughing.
Yeah. That's probably better than going to like your your run-of-the-mill restaurant where they're giving military members free meals.
Yeah.
You can get a free meal and go to the shelter.
Yeah, you can go to
get a free meal.
Yeah, you go to IHOP on your birthday, they'll give you a free meal.
Yeah. You know what you don't get? A Monday release of the Steve and Kyle podcast. So suck on that, veterans.
I don't know if we want to actually pick a fight with the veterans.
It's obviously
they're fantastic people. I know many veterans.
Well, who is... I totally apologize. He sent us the Sans from Iwo Jima.
Oh, yeah.
He is an active military member.
Yeah. And
so
you just told him to suck on it.
But he's like our friend, so it's like those type of jokes we can make. Like, hey, suck
Have you ever met him?
Suck it, military.
Yeah, those are always in vogue. Hey, how about driving those Hummers that cost the government millions of dollars? Am I right?
Suck it, military. No, that's please, everybody know that's totally
the Steve and Kyle tribute to the troops. Joke hour.
It's just sarcastic comments about military spending for about an hour.
It's 5. And then we tag all of them with suck it, military. Yes.
That's how
the military's appreciated.
There's got to be a stand-up out there making a living, traveling the country, where he says a joke and then he doesn't do the punchline. He just holds the mic to the crowd, and in unison they chant, "Suck it, military!" Woo!
Do it again.
There's no line of work where being like anti-military or anti-soldier is can somehow make you popular, is it? Like you can't be.
I'm racking my brain, but I can't.
There's no way.
No.
Maybe like Al-Qaeda spokesman.
Maybe Al Qaeda spokesman.
Like, you rise up the ranks pretty quick if you hate America and the military more.
Sure. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of their thing. They're not big fans of us here in the U.S. of A.
I like because it seems in the what's the saying? Time plus tragedy
equals
comedy. So you see 9/11 references and jokes, but man, you say something about the United States and the military.
It's not really positive.
It's weird.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate our military. I love
do
our
too.
military. I have many, many close military friends.
Sure.
So I tend to shy away from the whole mocking the military thing, especially since it's our military is volunteer.
Right.
People are not being drafted anymore.
But I guess my confusion, like, where does it come from? Where it's like, hey, comedians can now make jokes about 9/11. We're like 18 years.
Well, I'm
past.
sure that there are many comedians that do military themed bits.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, it's not edgy enough anymore, Steve. We need to bring back the edge.
Go ahead.
I think I already did. I created a punchline.
Oh, that's right.
Suck it, military.
Hashtag suck it. No, never mind.
Nope, don't do that one.
No.
That's going to get you some hate. That is totally unintentional. That is. But yeah, I do apologize. Whoever sent us the sand from Iwo Jima. Oh, is there the name?
I think so.
By the way, this is the second time we've done this where I think you've gone and looked during the episode, because this is going to be a beautiful transition for us, because this was a piece of mail from Jonathan
P. Shep. Is that how you would say that? It's one of those weird names with too many vowels.
From John.
Yeah.
Shop.
I think
Shoop?
Do it like they
Shof.
You probably pronounce every letter.
Okay. Skahayep. Jonathan P. Skahayep. Thank you for that lovely gift.
Yeah, this is cool.
And as always, we've mentioned this before, Steve, I feel like we need a song for mail, because we're getting more mail now. I mean, I know it's on the spot, but just for the future, I think it's something we should look into the KMAC library and see if we can add to the collection. But we got a piece of mail shipped to us from our friend Josh in Maine. Now, Josh in Maine was on your side gig. I want to say it was probably a year ago, playing Dumber Than the Show trivia, and he wore a Steve and Kyle shirt.
Yes.
He put Steve and Kyle on his blindfold. He had a Steve and Kyle picture in the background of his webcam, and that was met with 0 seconds of acknowledgement of the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Oh, by the way.
Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14.
Oh, she's on Luke?
I guess
okay.
So.
Aren't you interrupting the story at the most suspenseful part? Well, the answer is yes, Sally. Yes, I am.
All right, enough of that.
So that is mail time on the Steve and Kyle. Mail time on the Steve and Kyle podcast. Steve, would you like to do the honors?
Yeah. What are we up to, by the way, cough-wise?
That was number 6, unless you want to count the one when you were walking over with the bag of sand.
It wasn't directly on mic.
Okay, so we are at 6.
Okay,
that means at this point the episode is more than 1/3 over.
Yeah.
That means we have a lot to get to in a very, very short amount of time. But first, mail.
All right, we're doing
Josh in Maine. Yeah, we need to look at this now. We got a message from Josh. He took a pilgrimage from where in the Northeast to the home base of something that has been very prevalent on the show over the last month and a half. And he said he was going to send us some stuff from it.
Oh, he did.
What do we got here, Steve?
Well, I'm going to try and separate them so they don't all come out at once. I want it to be like a.
Now, this was shit priority mail from the United States Postal Service. The end of the driveway warriors in blue delivered this with no problem.
Yeah, that's why it took upwards of a week and a half for it to.
It is priority 3-day mail, just because your office has a weird forwarding policy.
Okay, so this, you know how if you're perfect weekend to sit outside drinking a nice cold beer, well, what do you do with your beer? What do you put your beer in?
Well, you want to keep it cool.
Yeah, you put it in a little koozie.
You put it in a koozie cup, Steve.
How about a Ben and Jerry's koozie?
Hey, a Ben and Jerry's koozie. Not just any koozie, though, Steve.
A lanyard koozie.
A lanyard koozie, so you don't have to lose track of your beer. It's a hands-free koozie. Look at that.
No. This is for ice cream. This is for a pint of ice cream.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine, but no.
Look,
because
that's way bigger.
Oh, it absolutely is, because that's for a spoon.
Yeah.
That, well, there you go.
Oh, you're not gonna partake?
I don't know if a Halo top would fit in there.
I'm pretty sure it would. And
I'm going to try to fit a beer in there. I got to be honest with you.
Well, it's going to fit. It's bigger than a beer.
Well, yeah, I just don't want it to be obviously sloshing around. That is tremendous. Thank you very much, Josh, from the Ben & Jerry's home base.
Ben & Jerry's chocolate chip cookie dough lip balm.
Oh,
I bet that's good.
Don't see. I always struggle with that. Like I've always struggled with what was that gum? Juicy fruit or something fruit stripe, whatever it was called.
Yeah, fruit stripe gum.
That tasted like candy, and you didn't want to chew it. You just wanted to eat it.
Wow, it
Does that
smells
smell like chocolate chip
Yeah,
cookie
well,
dough?
it smells like something you'd eat.
That does too.
Go ahead, take a bite. Tastes like wax.
That's got to be toxic, right?
Probably not if you're putting it on your lips.
Yellow beeswax, sunflower oil, extra virgin olive oil, flavor, hemp seed oil.
Wait, one of the ingredients was flavor.
Just flavor. Yep. Some rosemary extract, some stevia.
Sounds fantastic.
I don't see anything about chocolate chip or cookie dough outside of the word flavor.
Well, that concludes this week's viewer mail.
Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14.
Oh, I wonder who this one's from.
Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig, aren't you interrupting the story at the most...
Okay, thank you, Pig.
Is that something that we can use? Is that free? Or did you just Google mail?
I Googled, viewer mail song.
Hey, that works for me.
And that came up.
Could we just get those first 3 seconds on a loop?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And maybe that should be it.
So when it's viewer mail time.
Yeah. Keep those... Hey,
and then it goes...
So it never actually builds to anything.
Nope. It's just a loop of a 3-second sound clip.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Josh. That is tremendous. Cool. That's awesome. Right from the Ben & Jerry's home base, which I believe is...
It's in Vermont.
Is it in Vermont?
Yeah. Yeah, Ben &
So
Jerry's.
Vermont's got the Ben & Jerry's, and they've got the cheese, right? And there's something with Vermont cheese?
It's Wisconsin, I believe.
No, Vermont cheddar, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, come on now, Steve.
Vermont cheddar.
I'm pretty sure there's something to be said about Vermont cheddar.
Vermont cheddar cheese.
Hey!
Okay, let's see. Vermont cheddar cheese, yeah.
It is a thing, right?
Smoked and aged, blah, 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 yeah.
Now, just to give a counterpoint, if you type in Florida cheddar cheese,
let's see.
Is it just literally every state you can buy cheese from?
Florida cheddar cheese.
Okay, so there may not be any.
Give me another state. New Mexico.
Yeah, New Mexico. They can't make cheese. They don't have time.
They don't have time.
They don't have the utilities to do that. It's just hot and dry.
Yeah, this one, it would fill in the individual words, but it wouldn't fill in the whole phrase.
But if you type it, is there somewhere I can buy New Mexico cheddar cheese? And as a side note, why isn't this something we're doing and trying on a taste test?
Oh, let's see. Boy, it doesn't seem like New Mexico is really known for their cheese production.
Okay. # where's the cheddar cheese? That's what we need answers for. Because now I need to know. You're telling me Florida, okay?
Yeah.
Those...
Give me another state.
That unified
I'm going to go
idiots.
north of the border. North of the border, Ontario. Cheddar.
Not interested in Canadian cheese.
That one popped up.
Ontario cheddar cheese.
Ontario cheddar cheese, yeah. From our friends at dairygoodness.ca.
Now, New Mexico is relatively obscure, but let's go... Why don't we pick like a Dakota?
Oh, I bet. Yeah, lots of farming going on there.
Yeah, lots of cattle, lots of goats.
Yeah. How many are we up to now, by the way?
Oh, that's number 7. That means we are closing in on the 50% marker.
Okay. So what did we say? You want to do South?
Yeah, let's try South Dakota cheddar cheese. There's got...
Apparently there's a Cheddar's South Dakota.
Like a town?
Let's find out. Cheddar's in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I don't know what that means. That's a Yelp thing. Oh, okay, so it's a restaurant.
Oh, okay. So South Dakota, New Mexico, the two states?
Cheddar's a great place to eat.
Okay, good.
All right, so hold on. I have to update my my rundown of the show. Cheddar cheeses by state.
Yep.
Okay.
Again, this is something that we ask you to pass along to other people and say, no, trust me, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And
they have
again,
97 episodes.
And like the third bulletin point this week is cheddar cheeses by state.
Yeah.
Just consider that and consider the type of friendship you want to keep when you're pawning this episode off on others.
Well, I think our big bit last week was when we talked to my brother.
Yeah, and the week before was when we broke down the history of helicopters. Or more accurately, the history
of the mystery.
You're welcome. I think it's history of the mystery.
Yeah, history of the mystery.
Yeah, because as we've said, we'll give you the timeline of the mystery and
we'll
nothing
tell you
else.
Around the time that the mystery came to fruition.
Yeah. We'll give you like a little background. We'll tell you like, yeah, it's this whatever, missing persons or whatever, and then we'll tell you, and this happened in 1968. We'll see you next time on the history
of the mystery.
The mystery. That's... You know how much more successful that would be than this, probably?
Oh, so much more.
Like, do we need to just open up... Now, there's companies that do that, where they just have... It's like a podcast network, but it's the same two people, and they just do like 5 different podcasts. Hear me out here, Steve.
Okay.
You and I both quit. We spend anywhere between 6 and 8 hours a day here at the APS 3.0, and we record WrestleCast... Sports Tate.
Sports Tate. That's what it's called?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Sports SPRT T8.
Yep, that's it. And I don't know how people are going to find that on iTunes. I don't know.
Yeah, put in no keywords at all.
I don't know how you're going to subscribe to it. And then we need to have History of the Mystery.
History of the Mystery. I think that you can do a comic book one.
Sure.
I could definitely do a Jeep cast.
No, we'll do them all together.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So let's...
You do Jeep one, I'll same thing. I'll do during the Jeep one what you'll do during the comic book one.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like a good one.
Uh-huh.
Did you use an Allen wrench on that?
Uh-huh.
Is there parking brake on?
Uh-huh.
Take your roof off?
Spider-Man? Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. Is that with a hyphen or no hyphen?
Is that Marvel? Marvel and DC, right?
Yeah. Boy, the rivalry, right?
How about that? You see Ant-Man? He's small.
That's the only way to get the Lispin Network. That's the Living in Style podcast network. Lispin.
Yeah, Living in
Style. So it's not Lispin Network. It's just Lispin. Or should it be Lisp Network?
Lisp Network. Yeah.
The Living in Style podcast network.
Now we got to update the logo.
Oh, I know it. Well, don't worry. We got Zack.
Yeah.
We got Zack. We've got Zack who makes us logos and stuff. We've got...
Speaking of Zack.
Oh, boy.
We had been putting out the call for the better part of... What are we on? Episode 97? For the better part of 97 episodes.
It's number 8 over the 50% marker for this week's episode.
That was bad.
We either need Steve to have like a Werther's or a Sucrets or something, whatever you need to calm your throat down. You drink hot tea, Steve? Is that something you do?
I've been drinking so much hot tea in the last week.
Yeah. Now, is that green tea?
Green tea, yeah. We went out to a sushi restaurant last night for dinner.
Oh, for God's sake. I've never felt more out of place on this podcast than you drinking hot tea and going to sushi.
Going to sushi restaurants. Yeah, we went out last night, and I ordered, because I have green tea, like we have green tea bags up there.
Sure.
Like the Salada green tea bags.
You probably got your tea mug that you just use only for tea.
Oh, yeah.
You got your tea chair.
And it has a funny tea saying on it.
Yep.
You know, like a wine glass.
Yeah. It's tea o'clock somewhere.
Ooh, that's good.
Right?
Yeah.
You got your tea chair, so you go sit down, you probably have your slippers placed directly in front.
Yeah,
so you can just,
my tea slippers.
So you can slide right into them, and then, like a tea snob will do, I think, just lift up and down that tea bag for a couple of minutes, and then maybe like lightly blow on it, and then wrap both hands around your tea mug that says it's tea o'clock somewhere, and...
But I have a little tiny spoon that I use to stir it.
Oh, and you clink the side every time.
Yeah.
You can't just you can't just stir around the center.
No.
You have to hit, and it's a circle. You have to hit every corner of that circle mug.
Yes. Yeah. Where what were we talking
You
about?
went out for sushi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I got so I was like, "Oh, cool, my throat's still sore. I'll take some green tea." And they brought me it was like the greenest green tea ever.
Like a leaf in it?
Oh my God. It was like it was brewed through a patch of moss with dirt in it. It was garbage. And I'm sure that was probably like a representation of actual green tea.
Yeah.
Like a green tea purist would be like, this is my mecca. I have tasted I've tasted a rainbow and ridden on a unicorn, but to me, it was absolute garbage. Just the worst. Worst. Give me a Salada any day.
Okay.
Over fancy pants sushi restaurant green tea.
Because again, like you said, that's probably something where they did it themselves, and there's probably some dirt in the bottom of their big jug.
There was a lot of floating stuff in there.
Maybe even some ocean water. They just run it through like a desalinator or whatever it is, and.
So as we were saying, for the better part of 97 episodes, we've been asking for somebody to
I don't know how it got there.
To do a new logo. Yeah, how did we go from...
I don't know. We just foretold your future, though. You're going to have the exact same physical appearance, but gray. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be walking to your couch, sliding into your tea slippers...
With my mug.
With your tea mug.
It's tea o'clock.
It's tea o'clock somewhere. That is future Steve now. And you're going to sit down.
Someone make me that mug, please.
It's tea o'clock. Yeah, that has to be made. It's tea o'clock somewhere with just a big leaf pattern on the actual mug.
Yeah. Or like a clock made out of tea leaves.
Yeah. The clock is like a tea leaf, but then instead of like 1 through 12, it just says T on every number. It's going to be a pretty big clock, but that's you in a nutshell in like 30 years, but still pressing play when you sit down on your tea remote.
my tea. So everything is just...
You have a separate remote for when you're having tea.
Gotcha.
And then clicking play on Redo the Monster Jeep tires. Episode 6.
I love that show. Redo the Monster Jeep tires.
Yeah. And as we all know, their theme song is just brum, brum, brum.
So it's just no song. It's just
revving.
It's just an engine revving.
Yeah. And not even probably of a Jeep. It's like the audio version of clip art. And so it's like a dragster. But for some reason, you happen to be looking for that model of big Jeep tires to be replaced.
Boy, I can't wait till the next episode of, what was it called? Redo the Monster Jeep tires comes on.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so, again, not sure how we got there, but going back, Zack, listener Zack, the vice president of the Lucky Billy Bar...
Yeah.
Confectionery conglomerate or whatever
Steve
they're
and Kyle
called.
Podcast Confectionery Cooperative presents the Lucky Billy Bar.
Okay.
And Zach is the vice president of marketing, I think.
Again, don't know why if he gave himself a job, he didn't make himself like...
Not even the head honcho.
President and CEO.
What a humble...
You know what that is? That's respect right there.
That's a humble man.
He knows that the buck stops with these two here.
Absolutely. Now, we have final say on everything related to Lucky Billy. And by final say, I mean we've talked about it. So that gives us like final cut. Like if you're a director of a movie, anything we don't like regarding the Lucky Billy,
cut.
Yep. That's what Steve yells. Zack stops.
Yeah. So Zack, a very talented graphic designer, has designed us 2 mock-ups of a logo. Actually, it's one logo, but different background motifs. So
I'm excited. I have not seen these yet.
So do not look at the Jumbotron. I'm going to pull both of them up side by side.
So he sent these to only you, which
he did.
I need to tell you right off the bat, gives me cause for concern, Steve.
I don't know why.
Now, normally these would go directly to the podcast account, which you don't read, the DMs. So
I do from time to time.
I would probably be the one showing you. Be like, hey, did you see these? And I could show you. So my eyebrows have been raised, and I don't know what I'm expecting here, but I have a poor feeling about what Zack has done.
I'll read the email from Zack. Zack sent this a couple weeks ago.
To just you?
To just me.
Boy, his job's on thin ice.
Hey, Steve, I don't know if you can see my messages on Twitter, but here's an early draft of the logo I've been working on. I think I might have to actually draw Kyle instead of the blank, 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 or he might really quit the podcast. The text is inspired from Cheers. Let me know what you think. So, this is a beautiful mock-up of what our future logos...
I feel like this isn't. You're laughing while saying it.
Yeah.
You said during an email, blank, 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 meaning I'm being withheld some information here.
Right. Well, I could explain it more, or you could just turn around and look at these fantastic logos that Zack has. He gave us a green version and like a grayish gunmetal version.
All right.
So whichever one you like better, we'll go with.
Sure.
How about that? I'll give you final say.
So I'll do, oh boy, I get final cut.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm going to do the 160-degree head turn to see these on the Jumbotron. I mean, that's Bebop or Rocksteady from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, that is an actual wild animal directly taken from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not familiar.
You know what I'm familiar with? By the way, I can't say how much I appreciate the Pauly Walnut stripe he gave you.
It's so perfect.
Yeah, you're the Sopranos. You're Pauly Walnuts.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, we're going to need to have a talk with Zack about his role in Lucky Billy going forward.
But what about the lettering? I mean, it's very reminiscent of Cheers, right?
I'm a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character.
Yeah, but I think that it must have been a mistake. It must be the resolution of the screen that's making it look...
Yeah, what is this thing? Like a old rear projection you got up here? Maybe like 8 pixels and 2 of them are missing from that picture?
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, so his email said, I think I might actually have to draw Kyle instead of the Haracorn Rhino brother, or me. He might really quit the podcast. So what do you think?
Huh.
We're good, right?
Well, I'm glad to have Lucky Billy out from underneath the thumb of that authoritarian figure Zack.
So you thinking gray or green?
Here's the color I'm thinking is Zack. You're fired.
Oh no! That has to carry the weight of the whole room.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, come on! It's 50-50.
Right, exactly.
Which
50-50.
Which means we need to get a third board member.
No.
Every vote's a stalemate. We never get anything done.
Nope.
Because we always vote for or in against.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What are you voting for? Okay, I'm voting opposite.
Okay, good. Zack, as far as I'm concerned, you're fired.
Zack, as far as I'm concerned, you are promoted.
As far as I'm concerned, your Twitter account is blocked.
Zack, I will unblock it.
It's going to be a weird war that nobody can see happen.
Nope.
That's offensive.
I like the direction he's going in. I think if he were to do an actual...
Yeah, I don't.
An actual drawing of you,
sure.
Not Bebop and or Rocksteady.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is, but it's the one with the nose ring.
Yeah. I think that mine looks fantastic. I really don't think he could have drawn me in cartoon form any better.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like me.
Mm-hmm.
It's got my beard,
Mm-hmm.
my Polly Walnut's gray hair.
That's right.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, give us a serious shot at Kyle here.
No, I'm good. He's been relieved of duties. We have Carl Furrow on deck. He's never volunteered this. I'm calling him out right now. We're going to be talking to him any day now on 2 Minutes of Awkward Conversation. He's made us some billboards.
Oh, yeah.
He's made us some images. He made us... Now, hear me out here. He's made a logo that I think is a better alternative than what Zack has offered us here today.
What's he got?
He sent us a message that he drew up. Or I'm sorry, that wasn't Carl. That was Chris Pruitt. Chris Pruitt made the logo. Look at this one, huh?
What we got?
Huh? Look at all the changes. Look at the updates he made to this. So now this is a nice, like, metallic background. Is that how you describe it?
I believe it's a stainless steel with a sunburst.
Now,
flare.
how would you describe that font?
Oh boy, that looks very Times New Romany to me.
Very Times New Romany, and then it's like Steve and my face, kind of in the center on an angle.
In a cartoon filter.
Yeah. And he took a tremendous picture of me with an American flag bandana, a cigarette hanging out of my mouth, and I don't smoke.
Yeah.
And then below that, in a beautiful font, the Steve and Kyle podcast. But then instead of "and," he had crossed out the word "and" and put "or." And then in a starburst, like we so desire with the Lucky Billy that Zack couldn't come through because he's too busy drawing cartoon characters. But thank goodness for Chris Pruitt, because he put the starburst we so needed with Mike. So it's the Steve or Kyle podcast with Mike. We don't have Mike's picture on there yet, but that's negotiations between Steve and I of how we're going to reduce our head sizes.
Oh, no, I absolutely refuse to take a back seat.
Maybe we just put him in the middle, but like put him deep, like behind our head, so you can just see like a nose down the center on the top of his head.
I don't like it.
I mean, as we decided last week, Mike is the new co-host.
Yeah. Starting here.
And Chris Pruitt, the new logo designer. Thank you, Chris.
Did he just get promoted to CEO of Lucky Billy?
Yes, he did. We're going to need to talk to you. Now, Zach, don't make this difficult. We're just going to need you to transfer the Lucky Billy Bar Twitter handle to Chris Pruitt.
Good luck. Good luck.
I tell you what, though, I have a job for you, and it's with a comic book company to draw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Because do you think he drew that, or do you think he took that from online somewhere?
Man, if he drew it, that's fantastic looking.
Yeah, it looks great.
Because it's drawn in the same style that mine is drawn in.
Yes.
So I'm willing to think that I think he did it.
Which that means, instead of just spending what would probably be substantially less time drawing the version of me, he spent more time to draw this animal caricature.
What are Bebop and Rocksteady?
Like two villains?
Yeah, but I mean, are they like dinosaur pigs or something?
That's a good question. I know they were in the movie, the second Ninja Turtle movie. That's hard to pull off, though. You're talking about talking that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they got that.
Two fictional characters.
Like that tooth on the side. It almost pokes him in the eye.
Their names are both derived from genres of music. Bebop is a style of jazz, while Rocksteady is a Jamaican music style.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How about what kind of animals they are?
Sure. Yeah, so Bebop and Rocksteady. It doesn't say. It just
I'm thinking there's some kind of dinosaurs. Dinosaur.
Yeah, pigs. And they're just, and I'm sure there's some hybrid or just make whatever they feel like, but I believe one of them has like a rhinoceros horn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing one is based on that. Maybe a Triceratops.
I guess it doesn't really matter.
One. We should probably stop talking more historic animals that I don't have a clue about.
You know something? It would be very interesting to get to the history
of the mystery
of what Bebop and Rocksteady are.
That's next week on the history
of the mystery.
I'm telling you, that would be a killer. We would crush the podcast industry with that. There's no doubt. Well, thank you, Zach. Not everyone can be a hit.
Yeah, I disagree. Everyone is a hit.
I mean, someday you'll get it right. Till then, I'd argue you're, let's just call it a furlough from the Lucky Billy bar.
I'll bring you back in. Don't worry.
Well, as soon as things are remedied.
Yeah, I do want to see his. I want to see the actual representation of what you would look like in cartoon form.
I wonder if he needs like a legit picture of me and or my hairline.
Hey,
because I'm guessing that's going to be a focal point.
Can you draw us like? I want us to be like in an action adventure movie.
Okay. Like
where one of us is holding the gun, obviously an explosion behind us.
Yes.
Maybe you're swinging in on like a Tarzan rope or something.
Yeah, I need like a sword in one hand though. 'Cause I'm only hanging onto that rope with one hand because I'm strong.
Yeah, you're swole.
Yeah. If you have time.
Yeah.
Now he did tell us he was hoping to have the logo by episode 100, so that early mock-up.
Yep.
Maybe he was just struggling with some of the facial outlines for me.
But I need this to have like all of the dead villains in the background that we've slayed.
Okay.
Sasquatch, Loch Ness Monster.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Osama bin Laden.
That's a good one. That's a very good one.
Yeah.
The Berlin Wall.
The Berlin Wall.
Yeah. It's just going to look like I just crashed through it on my rope.
On your Tarzan
on my
swing.
rope,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah. Basically, it needs to portray us as the heroes that we are, that we never get credit for.
Sure.
So, get to work, Zach. You got 2 weeks.
Yeah. That you said you're going to have the logo to us by episode 100. It looks like you're honing in on everybody's intricate designs and facial structures. Mm-hmm. You're really, really close on both fronts.
You got mine perfect. I mean, absolutely nailed.
I swear to God, I'll quit. You won't see me again.
You're done?
I'll walk out of this house.
This is it, huh?
And I'm taking the microphone with me.
And 1.5...
And 3/4 of one shock mount.
Okay. Calling it quits.
And this podcast will be over.
I guess we figured out who my brother's replacing.
Yeah.
Knew it all along.
Yeah. Good luck. Boy, at the rate you guys do an episode every 4.5 years, find out who's working where. And if you got a new nephew or niece.
Touche.
That reminds me, though, we talked about it a while ago. I was jokingly talking about quitting the podcast, and we had agreed if we didn't get to a certain thing by episode 100.
What was that?
That I was going to quit, and this podcast is going to be over. Well, Steve, we did it. No reason to concern yourself. Not only did we do it, we flew past 1,000 Twitter followers.
Did we? Oh, because I know that we had gotten past it.
Yes.
And then you tweeted thanks.
Yep.
The overwhelming response was for 3 people to unfollow us.
So we were at 997 or 998.
Yeah.
We have flown past that again. We are at 1,020 followers as we stand today. So my question to you, why aren't all of you downloading this?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
You say you like us.
That is tremendous. Thank you. Please, that's the best way we can get in touch with everybody who listens is Twitter and Facebook. So I know we say it a lot, but if somebody's wondering what this is about, you can send them our Twitter account at Steve and Kyle, Facebook.com/Steve and Kyle, or just direct them, where I would recommend, to the 5 1-star reviews on our iTunes podcast.
Yeah. That was weird a couple, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It's as if someone directed a bunch of people.
It was just an odd influx, Steve. It happens all the time.
Well, I mean, we did jump from... I mean, kudos to whoever did that. But if you did do it, your influence was like 3 people.
Yeah, right.
Because we went from 1 or 2 1-star reviews to 5. Like, I mean, it took us 80 some episodes to get 2.
Yeah.
And then in the course of like 5 days, we got 3 more. Seemed like maybe there had been some funny business there.
And really crazy that None of them left an actual review.
Yeah, weird.
Because then we can't see the username. It's just
but again,
odd. It's just odd.
whoever this person was, you influenced 3 people.
That's enough to fit on one hand. If you want to help us break the 4.5-star downturn we've experienced, you can go ahead and leave us a review on iTunes, Google, wherever you're at. iTunes is the one we're talking about. So if you listen to on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. That'd be tremendous, and we'd appreciate it. They are coming in. Super positive reviews, like this one, Steve, that I wanted to read a little bit ago.
Oh, boy.
Let me see.
You know what I just realized?
Yeah.
I did not do a Fast 5.
Oh, it's okay. You got time. Got plenty of time. Oh, like this. One thing I can promise you is this. If you give the podcast a chance, you will definitely laugh. These guys, parentheses, mainly Steve, are funny, and they will get you belly laughing each and every episode.
There you go. I like it.
Another review. These two make being pathetic interesting.
Thank you.
They're not afraid to speak of their subpar softball skills.
Nope.
One apparently too fragile to last a whole inning.
Boy.
One of the more recent ones.
I wonder which one they're talking about.
Again, it's the Mike situation. We'll never know. You know? Another one that was in the last month. Entertaining enough. Good for background noise when doing something else or trying to fall asleep. The one right after that. Kyle, I used to like you. Now you disappoint me. That's still a 5-star review.
Wait, why? What'd you do?
That was Team Snickers. Lucky
Oh.
Billy. Oh, I'm sorry. He was mad. This was Jared. Now, Jared's been a listener for a long time. But apparently, the one thing that has gotten to Jared is that I'm not a steak guy. Because I had said a couple times that if you put a hot dog or a steak in front of me, I'm going to take the hot dog. Every day.
We need to come up with the bet. Or we need to come up with the scenario in which I take you out to a steak dinner. And I order everything for you.
Oh, God. Yeah, but would that be... Because here's the thing. If we make a bet about that and I lose, you're taking me to a steak dinner. Like, how is that a loss?
Well, you don't like steak.
Well, it's not like my favorite, but it's
well,
not
like but you're going to eat it the way that I order it.
But we'd have to have ground rules because I can't have you
ordering
ordering
get it like a medium rare.
I can't have you ordering it like off the horse. Like, hey, chef, I want to hear the squeal or whatever horses do when you carve one of those shoulders out.
Right, yeah, because I typically eat horse steak.
Yeah, I mean, that's where all steaks come from. We all know that. Hashtag horse steak. That's where they're from.
Not to be confused with hashtag horse takes.
Yes. Very, very different. Hashtag hot horse takes is not hashtag horse steaks.
Yeah.
You got to get those correct. And also this week, probably the most important one, hashtag where's the cheddar cheese? Go ahead. Give me one more, Steve. Give me Washington cheddar cheese.
Oh, I know for a fact that
really?
Washington State?
Yes.
It's going to be, Tillamook, right? Tillamook. Somebody was in studio at the side gig last week.
Mm-hmm. They bring you cheddar cheese?
They did.
No way.
They brought us each, they were from Washington State, from the Seattle area.
Really?
Brought each of us a block. Like a block. Probably 8 inches long. It was like a 4x4 post cut to about 8 inches in length.
Wow.
A block of Tillamook extra sharp cheddar cheese.
Now, I'm a cheese fan, and we can't find the photograph. But
I can go get a block.
Lord knows that you're a cheese fan. As evidenced by my wedding.
Yes,
where you ate literally all of the cheese.
You're still paying off the catering bill.
Yeah.
From my cheese intake.
Yeah, we had to take like a home equity loan and lie about it to pay off the cheese bill. Mm-hmm. So we will be more than happy to accept your state's cheese.
Yeah, send us cheese.
If it's like let's just do like a cheddar cheese, like you're standing now sharp, maybe a mild.
I have an extra sharp.
I love an extra sharp cheese, Steve.
I kind of want to go get it right now.
You want to have some cheese while we're recording?
Can you carry things for a minute?
Steve, my goodness, not even worth asking because he knows the answer. Now, this is where I excel. This is the monologue because Steve goes away and Kyle gets to play, and that's the key. While the side hustles may not have taken off, WrestleCast, the Sports Tate, I do have the chance to monologue and do a solo podcast. So if I have a moment of everybody's time, what I'd like to talk about is the NBA Conference Championships. Can we talk for a moment about LeBron James and if he's the greatest player of this generation? Because I don't know who second place would even be, because look what he does during Game 6, a possible elimination game. 46. Oh, hey, Steve. Well, that was quicker than I anticipated.
What you talking about?
Conference Finals. LeBron James. Is he or is he not the best player of this generation? Steve, you go.
All right. We got the block of cheese here.
Boy, that thing is authentic. It's got that really nice... boy, I'm glad you just cut off the extra of the package.
I thought that it would...
Thought you'd maybe get a corner.
Yeah.
Me too.
Sure didn't.
So again, like we've mentioned, we will take your state's cheese. If you think your state has cheese worthy of being next to this brick of Washington, send it our way. We can send you the address.
I feel like I'm cutting this in a very unsafe way.
It's a nice sharp blade towards yourself with a wrapper.
Towards myself at about chest height.
Right. Just message us on Facebook or Twitter for the address so you can mail us cheese.
Okay.
Now this is authentic from Tillamook to Macleod.
Tillamook is the brand. Boy,
that is wrapped tight.
They are not messing around with this, but
I feel like you should just cut it.
Boy,
smell sharp?
Smell that.
Now that smells extra sharp.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a good sharp cheese too. Okay. You know, the one thing I had been hearing complaints about, Steve, is that we hadn't done enough eating on the podcast the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to be able to bring this back because for whatever reason, nobody sent us another candy package.
What am I doing?
This is one of the weirdest... Instead of what you would hope would just be like a piece of the wrapper that would come off, we have like 6 pieces ranging from 1/8 wide by 2 inches long everywhere. Yeah, just cut it right on the studio table. Gives it...
That's all right. The table that the cat walks around on.
I could use the package. Is that any better?
Nope. Okay. Oh boy, that's a solid.
That is
solid cheese.
My goodness. That is hard to cut through. I can tell just by watching it.
There you go. I'm just cutting you a nice slice.
Yeah, my God. Am I making a hamburger?
There you go.
This is about a 1/4 inch thick and probably 2 by 2. So I'll be eating this until, I don't know, the end of the episode. And again, if you're just tuning in, for whatever reason, you turn to this podcast on, we're on the 58-minute mark. We are eating cheese.
Well,
for no other reason than we started talking about is Vermont the place known for cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
And it turns out every state presumably brags about their cheese except New Mexico and South Dakota thus far.
Yeah, and this is a perfect time to announce our new segment on a weekly basis. We'll be doing Cheese Chat.
I love it. We'll pencil that right in next to Cheers Chat, which we do once every 3 months. And we'll talk cheeses from different states. Maybe it's time, Steve. Do we have a moment? Because I know we have to take this. Do we have a moment for a word from our sponsors?
Oh, boy, you're going to have to give me a minute there.
Boy, you'd think this professionally produced podcast would have our advertisements that are paid for. It's very sharp.
This is extremely sharp.
Our advertisements would be ready to roll when we need to play those.
No, not even remotely close.
And again, this is all being edited out. But this is that post-production budget we talk about and all that time Steve spends. Right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. What'd you say?
You should try the new Lucky Billy bar. It's a chocolate-based candy bar with just a touch of pretzel and no damn nuts inside. Pick one up today wherever candy is sold. Brought to you by the Stephen Kyle Confectionery Cooperative. Just do it.
Still disappointed with the lack of fade on the end.
Fade there at the end is atrocious. That position's also open now that Zack has been at least temporarily relieved of his duties. Spokesperson, Lucky Billy Bar, and yes, I am just eating cheese while talking.
Hold on, there was another. He did a follow-up commercial too.
Oh yeah.
Are you hungry? Nah, don't eat that. Have a Lucky Billy Bar by the Stephen Kyle Podcast Confectionery Cooperative.
Much better fade on that one.
Now
that was
is
beautiful.
where-
There's a Snickers bar in the foreground. He says, "You hungry? No, don't eat that." And then it gets thrown into the garbage.
Throws it at the not into the garbage can, at the garbage can. Like he's mad about it, and that's what we need in our new spokesperson's mentality and attitude. You need to be mad at the Snickers bar because that's the only way we're going to take him down.
This is fantastic. Oh, there's a piece of hair on this.
So cheese chat coming next week. We'll break down your cheddars. I'd even argue your Colby Jacks.
Ooh, maybe a Gouda.
Your Colby Jacks.
Not fan of Gouda?
I don't think so. I don't know that I've ever had it.
All right. Well,
Maybe your Monterey Jack.
perfect.
Maybe your fresh. Maybe some mozzarella. Huh?
mozzarella.
Get that over here. Mm-hmm. Me and you go into Sopranos chat while we're just eating raw cheese.
This episode,
We shouldn't air it.
is just a disaster.
He shouldn't see the light of day. We should have taken a week off. Should have taken a holiday break. Because here we are eating cheese. After talking cheese. For no good reason.
Well, I mean, there's always a good reason to eat cheese, and that's to be satisfied.
Sure, if you're not happy eating cheese, you're not happy.
Yeah. Cheese satisfies.
Yeah.
That's their slogan.
Well, it's the top of the hour, Steve, here on the Steve and Kyle podcast, which means we got to get to our A bit.
I don't care what anyone says. I'm having more fun with this episode than at least like 3 or 4 other ones.
Oh, this. So of the 97, this is like at least top 94. Then is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like if you had to rank them,
Yeah.
that'd be an interesting discussion, and it would not. It's not. I'm not worried about having thick enough skin. I would love to know, like, if people knew off the top of their head, like, what was their least favorite episode? Like, they listen every week or most every week, but there's one that they're like, oh, God, they either didn't finish it or they finished it and they went, what the hell was that one? Because I feel like this, if we ask that question in 97 more episodes, this one will be on the bottom of that list.
Really? You think that this is going to stand out that much?
As poor, yes. We have a cough counter. We're eating cheese. This has got to be one of the worst things we've ever produced. But it's not too late. It's top of the hour.
We can just end it.
We got the A bit, and you got 7 coughs to go. That doesn't count because that was just a burp. And he didn't even bother to try to back away from the microphone on. Number 9. Large outburst. We'll keep it number 9.
Okay. All right.
So top of the hour, that means you go to your A bit, Steve. And I need to ask you, because we kind of misled the listeners last week, and that is to the fault of you and I. We need to get this Indiegogo campaign up and running.
All right.
What's the... Oh! Oh! This drink lives!
It must be the cheese.
You know what else lives? The bullfrog in your chest that just pushed up through your larynx and out your mouth. Holy cow, was that tremendous.
The crazy thing about that one is we both had time to react to it while it was still happening.
I pushed my microphone away. I was so stunned. Holy cow.
I don't think we can do anything that'll top that.
That is just outstanding. But we did need to give an update on the Indiegogo. And by update, I mean we should probably just flesh this out on air and figure out what's the deal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because I went in there and I did all... I put in all the background information, and then I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'll just link it to our PayPal. And they no longer do that.
Okay. So is it only bank accounts?
I think so.
So it's bank accounts. They don't accept any other, like... cash software app or anything.
No,
like
it doesn't
that.
seem like it.
So we either hook it up to one of our bank accounts, or go elsewhere.
Yeah. Are there other ones that link to PayPal?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we just give our PayPal. Have people send us money via PayPal. Think that'll be better?
And then we'll donate it to the...
Looks like GoFundMe.
Really?
Looks like maybe that's the only one.
All right. Well, we're switching to GoFundMe then.
Okay.
Well, that's
you
fine
don't-
because we never gave out the link for the...
Right, we just have to transfer everything over. Now, the only concern with GoFundMe is if we can get the money without hitting our whatever goal we decided, and make sure we don't have to do a video. If we have to do, it's fine if we have to do a video. I mean, you and I are great at off the cuff stuff.
It's true, yeah.
You know, just 5 minute intro video. You and me climbing a billboard as a stunt.
I mean, if we're short on time, we'll just grab a block of cheese and do some cheese improv.
And just eat for like 4 minutes, and the
By the way,
last minute be
can I
like,
interest you in another?
boy, I would, but it's so different than eating candy, because candy I felt like was a quick hitter, but that cheese sticks in your mouth.
Yeah, it sure does.
And oh man, it really hinders the ability to speak. Yeah. Okay, so that'll be GoFundMe. Now I think it's safe to say I could probably work on this afternoon.
Okay.
And let's get this thing up.
And you can send me a link. Are we going to release this on Memorial Day?
I think so.
As a tribute to the troops.
If it's done as a tribute to the troops. I think we released this episode a day early. That's if you have the time and the wherewithal to do it today.
We should call one of our favorite troops, Cy Nolan Ryan Young.
Okay.
He's a veteran.
Yeah.
Of the Air Force, the United States Air Force.
Yeah, a lot of people call it the chair force.
I do not, because I am not in the military. I do not feel as though I have the privilege to make fun of specific
that's
branches.
just from other Air Force member that I've heard that from.
Okay. Let me see.
So you want to chat to him about Memorial Day?
Well, I want to ask him...
Do you want to ask where he's going to hawk his free meal at?
No, I was going to ask him if, as a member of the military...
Sure.
Certain people, like certain military members, they like it when people say, "Thank you for your service," or So this way we can wrap our brain around whether he would think that us releasing this podcast one day early is a very patriotic gesture for the members of our military.
Okay. So we want to find out if he would be a guy who, when he came home, if he would like posters and like a crowd saying, "Welcome home, hero. Thank you for your service."
Or an episode of the Steve and Kyle podcast one day early.
One day early. Like, what would be better?
Yeah.
That's safe to say. I think that's a fair question. That's a very fair question.
All right. Come on, I see the 3 dots bouncing.
Oh, it means he's typing. For crying out loud. I'm so glad I don't have an iPhone.
No, this is a Facebook message.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And now they disappeared.
Well, he's too good for us, that's all. Do we know any other military members? If I saw John Squep, if his number handy,
Squep,
I'd say let's give him a shout and see what he has to say.
You know how, like, after we record each week, a lot of times we'll be walking up the steps, leaving the APS, and we'll think, that was a funny episode.
Sure.
We're not going to have that conversation today.
You don't think so? You don't think we'll be high-fiving as we walk? Thinking...
Because normally we get up there, and Annette's usually up there, and she's, oh, how'd it go? Oh,
nailed it.
This one.
We crushed it.
I feel like this one has a different feel to it than the previous 96.
Yeah. No, I think that's safe to say. No reason behind it either. It's totally at random. Boy, I'm trying to find
Okay, here we go.
other military members' phone number that we could talk to.
We're on a Facebook call.
Okay.
Betty.
Got a video?
Not video, it's just voice call.
Audio chat, okay.
It's just working perfectly.
It's very smooth.
Any minute now.
You tell me it's not working yet?
Says it's ringing.
Sounds like it.
Hello.
Oh,
Hey. Oh, hello?
Hey.
All right, you're on the Steve and Kyle podcast with me, Steve, and Kyle.
All right.
Well, first of all, it is nearly Memorial Day, so we called to thank you for your service in the U.S. Air Force. It's greatly appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
Now, Chris, Cy.
Yes, Cy Nolan Ryan Young joins us, by the way.
You have heard this before. I'm not the first person who's heard it referred to as the chair force, am I?
No, you're not the first person.
Okay. Now, I feel as though, from my standpoint, since I never have been active military in any branch, I feel as though that is a joke that is for people who are in the military, no matter what branch.
Sure.
That's like the trash talk that goes on between like the Army and the Air Force, or the Navy and the Air Force, or something.
Oh yeah. Like we sit in chairs and the Marines eat Crayola crayons. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What about the Coast Guard? The Coast Guard, are they? I've heard them. What was it, like the knee-high Navy? I've heard them referred to as.
Well, I don't know. I've never had an experience with the Coast Guard too much. I'm not real sure what they do. So
we're too busy defending those rivers.
Yes, right.
From terrorists.
Yep.
I don't know, because I'm not in the military.
It's safe to say, Steve, the Coast Guard right now has got their little dinghies going all around the ponds and checking for terrorists.
Okay.
That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. Now
they relax on the beach too. Don't forget, they got beach chairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suntanners.
All right.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So what we wanted to do, now you tell us, this is an idea that was concocted while we were recording. We were thinking, in honor of tomorrow being Memorial Day, normally our episodes get released on a Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. So we were thinking, to all of our military friends out there, how big of a deal would it be if, instead of releasing this on Tuesday morning at 7 a.m., we release it Monday morning at 7 a.m. as a thank you to the military? What do you think about that?
Oh, that'd be fantastic. I don't know what I would do if I had to wait that extra day. I'm not real sure if I could get through my Monday.
Yeah. Well, because you'd be, you had to live with memories of your time in the service, Chris, and the least we can do here is offer you that.
Literally, the absolute least we can do. I mean, if we wanted to do less, impossible. We couldn't
completely impossible.
We couldn't do any less than this. So we're going to release this, I think, one day. Is it official now?
Yeah.
Kyle? It's official. We're going to release this one day early as a thank you to the military. I mean,
except for the Coast Guard.
Except for the Coast Guard. Now, when you enlisted years ago, Chris, would this be? Would you ever have any idea that something like this would happen?
Yeah.
No, never. I could never imagine this gracefulness that you guys have for us military folk. Yeah. I mean, it's like Christmas Day.
Yeah. Now, you're probably inundated this weekend with. Now, I don't think thank you is the way. Like, thank you for your service, but not like Happy Memorial Day. That's not the proper sentiment. You're probably inundated with those statements. You can pretty much guffaw at those the next few days, because you have just received the greatest gift a military service member could receive.
Oh yeah, this is going to be in the history books.
Boy, we're just. You know what, Steve? We're just glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, we're just happy to give. We're happy to give.
Completely going out of your way here at this point.
So stupid.
All right, man. Well, we wanted to check in and just make sure that it wouldn't come across as silly.
Yeah.
So if you think it's okay, I think we're going to do it.
Oh yeah, I'd pull the trigger on it.
All right.
Now, before we do let you go, though, Chris, I did have a question. Did you want to talk about this now? I know we had some off-air discussions about it. Did you just want to go ahead and give the release to Steve on air today for the softball team, or do you want to wait and do that in person?
I feel
I think we have to bring the team together and do this as one team. I feel like if it's
I am here.
I think a team. Steve, if you just quiet down right now.
I can hear the conversation you guys are having.
Steve, if you could quiet down, we're trying to have a conversation.
Oh, sorry.
I think that's a good idea that we bring this to the team and have us all address him personally. Maybe we could write letters, like the opposite of an intervention. We want him to go away.
Right. We got to bring up the positive and then shoot the negative and let them walk out the door.
Yep, that's fine. All right. Well, sounds good, Chris. We'll see you later, and then we'll catch up with you on Wednesday at softball. I'll have my letter in hand.
Sounds fantastic.
But all right.
No, he's good. He's got to go.
Oh,
he's got to go. Hang up.
All right. See ya.
Time's up.
Huh. Well.
All right.
I feel like I learned a lot from that call.
I know. Me too. I did not think that Coast Guard was looked down on that much.
Yeah, it's not really what I was talking about, but I guess
the knee-high Navy, right? I mean, I didn't expect that either. A lot of revelations there from that call. Again, not much to overly recap with softball this past week. We had a late cancellation.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad.
It was Steve.
It was me. I decided that I was, in lieu of playing softball, I would instead go to bed early.
Sure. How'd that go?
I was in bed 20 minutes before the game started.
So 7:45.
Yeah.
Huh. Did you get dinner at 2:30 to 3? And
yeah. No.
That's number 10?
10. Oh, boy. Can I just do 5 more right now?
Well, it's almost. I mean, we're almost done anyway. We don't have
and this debauchery. Oh, this is bad. This is rough.
So
I decided to go to bed early.
Yeah,
and because I went to bed on Tuesday. I think I went to bed at 7:15.
Man,
and I woke up Wednesday morning and I felt really good. Like that was of all the medicine I was taking and everything. Nothing felt as good as just getting.
Had some hot tea?
A ton of sleep. Some hot... Well, I mean, it's tea o'clock somewhere.
Tea o'clock somewhere, and Steve knows it.
So, yeah, I had a good night's sleep on Tuesday, and then I decided, well, that worked so well, I'm going to do it again on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so we had a game Wednesday. I checked in early in the day, probably like 7 a.m. or so.
Mm-hmm.
I sent a message to the team, and I said, guys, feeling like crap.
Mm-hmm.
If we're shorthanded tonight, I'll be at the game. But if positions are covered, if we have enough players, I'm gonna respectfully bow out because I just feel terrible. And I was assured that everything was good.
Yeah, there's plenty of people.
We had enough players.
Yeah.
So
went
home, went to bed.
It's probably a good thing. The 8:15 start time was 20 minutes late because the early game on our field went late.
How? I thought that they couldn't go late.
Well, there's a time limit, so they started an inning with 1 minute left on the timer.
Oh, and then
the guy walked 8 batters in a row.
Okay.
And it ended up being like 19-18, so it went really long.
All right.
So by the time our 8:15 first pitch, it was actually 8:35. And our game did not get done until 9:40.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I had been asleep at that point for 2 hours.
2 hours you were gone as we're finishing up our game. And at this point, it is safe to say, Steve, you're going to win that bet. I think you bet 7-5. I bet 6-4. Or what? Again, don't know how many games there are. We're just saying different amounts of length.
So yeah, I bet that we'd be 7-5 in a 12-game season. You'd be 6-4 in a 10-game season.
Yeah, I'm leaving myself some wiggle room there to play with on the back end of the season. We are now 3-0 after we won again via mercy 25-8.
Oh boy. So at what point do we get told you guys need to be in a different division?
I think it'll be this fall. I think when we come back for late August, I think is when it starts. Mm-hmm. For 6 games, we'll probably bump up to the next division, which will be more... By more competitive, I mean we're going to take a lot more losses. I have a feeling the talent gap is going to be substantial enough that we are not going to win. We'll win, but we won't win as easily.
Now, let's see. So I wasn't there, so obviously you had to have some schlub playing second base for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. We listen. We're pulling into the lot. We see the time. We're looking, right? Eyes up, looking around for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, hey, miss with the dog. Would you mind pulling up your hair and putting on a shirt?
I mean, it takes a strong woman to replace me at second base.
Yes. Or a woman willing to pull up her hair and put a hat on, so it looks like a man. Now we found someone. He was all right. No big deal. 310-foot home run in the first inning, dead center field.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've all done that, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we've all hit those bombs.
I was on second base one of his at bats, and was almost cowering in fear that the ball was going to be ripped past my face at some point and take some skin with it. He was hitting the ball that hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's probably sat in the bleachers and watched me play,
learning the swings.
So he knew what he knew what the team expected.
I'm guessing he's 6'2".
Okay. Yeah, so just a little shorter than me.
Maybe 210.
Okay, yeah, much more than me.
190 of that muscle.
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
This guy was just a horse on the softball field. Unbelievable.
Okay. So is he just a friend of a friend type deal?
No, he played before.
Oh, okay.
He is. I believe he's Cy Nolan Ryan Young's friend.
Okay. So my position is secure, obviously, though, at second base. Hashtag 222 remains. Kyle, hey, what you doing?
That cheese, man. I'm just parched. Getting a drink.
Did that make you not?
Did you get that Fast Five done? About that weather. Really hot this weekend, you know? Speaking of, you see those gas prices? Through the roof, man. What do you expect us to do?
I'll do it, I swear to God, I'll do it.
No, all I'm saying is he didn't even play second base. He was
second?
I don't know. Good enough that it didn't even get noticed.
Okay. All right. So I'll be back next week. Number 222. Hashtag 222. Why are you drinking again? You just had a sip.
I can't. It's the throat. I mean, it's that extra sharp Vermont Washington cheese, or
Vermont Washington. The best cheese is.
You heard it. I mean, well, you didn't hear it because it was a conversation between Seinel and Ryan Young and I.
Yeah,
the team has to have a meeting on Wednesday. It's no big deal. We'll give you the details about the meeting after it.
Don't really like the sound of this. I'll quit. I swear, I'll quit before I get kicked off. So let me know.
Preemptive.
Let me know right before you're about to kick me off the team, because I'll quit right before it.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want that on your record, right? You don't want that on your resume.
No, because if I get kicked off the team, I swear I'm throwing all the equipment in the woods.
I'm just gonna see you jogging in between fields with bat bags.
Yeah. Oh, it's all going in the woods.
Gloves.
Yeah.
Just getting chucked into trees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I would argue a roster spot may be open.
That's very generous of you.
The
man that took you to the championship game last year.
I don't know about second base. I don't know. Oh, speaking of which, we might need the shirt to borrow. I don't know about number 2.
Wait, you're taking my shirt back?
No. We may need.
But what if I'm there?
We may.
But I'm going to be there.
It's like you don't understand the possibility of the word.
Well, why do I have to give up my shirt? Why can't someone else
Shirts
give up
are
their
tight.
Shirt?
Times are tight. Budgets are being cut everywhere, Steve. I told you about the gas prices.
What do the gas prices have to do with our softball jerseys?
What about the heat wave out there? My goodness, and you're worried about the number 2 jersey? 89 degrees out there, and you're worried about a number 2.
I guess I just don't understand the correlation.
And I don't know about the number 2 spot in the lineup. I mean, it's all in flux now.
Jesus, now we got to come up with a new hashtag. It's already trending.
I loved it. Steve wore a number 2 jersey played second base, and the number 2 spot in the batting order.
Hashtag 222.
Hashtag 222, or as I like to refer to it, Steve is 1/3 of the devil. Is that what 666 is? That the
Yeah,
devil
666,
or is
yeah,
that?
yeah, I believe so. That's what weak-minded idiots believed. Ooh, it's a spooky number. It's probably gonna haunt me.
Does it have something to do with the 3 and the Holy Ghost? And
I don't know.
appreciate you.
If you believe that, you're an idiot. Christ.
This thing's off the rails. This thing is so off the rails.
What the hell are we doing?
I don't know, man. Oh man,
I stopped,
Steve's roster spot TBD.
Yeah, I stopped taking notes on this episode. Last thing I have is like cheeses by state.
Again, that's a very important talking point this week. Hashtag where's the cheddar cheese? Please let us know if you're willing to or have. Maybe you're a cheesehead, right? And you got, you know what? I got just the cheese Nashville, Tennessee needs to spread to the
let's
world.
See. Nashville cheddar.
Nashville cheddar? Is it Nashville hot cheddar?
No, that's you're thinking Nashville hot chicken.
Yeah, well, maybe they did that with their cheddar.
Nashville cheddar. Oh, no, they have a Cheddar's also, though.
They have a Tennessee cheddar? I know I'm putting a lot of onus on you there.
Tennessee cheddar puffs. Interested in that.
But again, we'll welcome your cheeses.
Yeah, we are not. We do not discriminate against cheeses
Not at all.
from any land.
Nope.
Did you say you don't know? Like you might?
No, I said nope.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. I wouldn't be willing to do that. So yes, please check the description of this episode. Also check our social media at Steve and Kyle, Facebook.com/Steve and Kyle for the link to the GoFundMe that will be launching with this episode for the Billboard. It's time. Somewhere in Ohio. We had a couple of leads. I want to say Zack sent us one on Twitter. Leanne, I appreciate the effort. Tried to send us a picture. I want to say it was this morning or yesterday.
One of those Billboard trucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I mean, come on. We've talked about what we need. Already that truck looks like it's newer than the year 2000.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for us.
Probably a bit out of our price range.
Yeah, and I don't need ours to move. We need it stationary so you and I can drive there and take a picture of it. Of us in front of it.
We don't want to have to like chase it down the highway.
No, and I don't want to have to wait for a stoplight to stop this guy. And plus, the only thing I relate to those like Billboard trucks is like Las Vegas, which is like sensations.
Yeah.
New girls 24 hours a day. And then, you got like two guys like, maybe I'll walk that way.
It's either sensations or it's deja vu, because no matter where you go, what city you go to, there's a strip club called Deja Vu.
Right. That's the go-to name.
Yeah.
Zack sent us one. Oh boy, this is a possibility just across state line from Michigan, within driving distance. Junior billboards and regular billboards for 4 weeks near Assumption, Ohio. Junior posters in Toledo, near Toledo.
Wait, how big is a junior poster?
Ooh. Oh, that was a nice one. Right to the point. I think we already know a number 1 seed, though, and it happened about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, when we talked to our guest. That came from my throat.
Oh, boy, sorry. I just tried to mark that quick.
No problem. This is just everything about this episode is a disaster.
Apologies. We'll try to be better next week, really. Junior posters in Toledo, Ohio. Now, it doesn't give a size, though, but I'll have to look up this website. Junior posters are smallest billboards located in urban areas and on roadways with smaller localities, closer to pedestrian and street traffic. They provide in-neighborhood exposure, because that's what we need to do. We've talked about how we're the most listened to podcast in a 3 to 5 block radius.
I got it. No matter where we put up the billboard, we tag it with instead of putting like one of the acronyms that we came up with. So if we put it up in Assumption, Ohio, we call it Assumption's Hometown Podcast.
Oh, yes. No, that's a beautiful idea.
Yeah.
That has to happen.
And then we alter the website a little bit so it has like, I don't know, we'll go and find images from us.
Yeah, like a picture from like Tiffany's Diner. And then we'll have Chris, who is our new graphic artist, because Zach's been fired, Photoshop us in front of Tiffany's Diner to make it look like we're locals there.
But it'll be the same picture of us.
Same picture, just our
photoshopped in front of every.
Right.
Like we'll be at the big game cheering on the Assumption.
Yes.
generals.
And the only picture of me that's accessible, I want to say, is probably like that one of me on crutches with the messenger bag. Yeah. So, but no, that's something we could do. Then we can give, like, you and I can take like pictures of ourselves, or have Annette take a picture of us like posing.
Yeah.
And so then we can be photoshopped into different, like the big game. So it's you and I with our arms over our heads.
And we have shirts on that just say "Go Team."
Go Team. Yeah, yeah. So junior posters in Toledo, the rural area, can range from $250 to $360 in a 4-week period.
Oh, we can afford that.
Maybe. We haven't funded it yet.
Yeah, that's true. We may not be able to afford it.
And one in Toledo, smaller and closer to the road than bulletins. Posters normally appear on local roadways, sold in packages. They put you in front of a wide local audience to impact your customers. That can range from $700 to $800 in a 4-week period. That's from Zack. Thank you very much.
All right, so that will be launching with this episode. So just go back to the description, click on the Billboard update text, and
yeah,
it'll take you to our GoFundMe.
Yeah, and it'll be on Steve and I. Hopefully by next week, you and I can have, maybe we can pick a town or an area, so we can really start narrowing it down to where when it does come time to call and start asking, we have an area. And we were talking about doing a listener meetup if you're willing to drive to Ohio, where we would meet up at the local bar after we all take pictures in front of the big Steve and Kyle billboard. Mm-hmm. And I think that'd be tremendous.
That would be great. That would really be great. Hopefully that's something that actually happens.
Yeah.
Now, I do not have a Fast Five. Do you want to do your Fast Five?
Well, I mean, I'm here.
All right. You can still do it. You can save it to next week.
No, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Fast Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, you want to go first?
No, I'll let you.
You let me go first?
Yeah,
okay.
Go
Maybe you can
By the way, do you need some cheese?
Boy, cheese during this would be... The NBA Finals.
Hey, how about the Cavaliers?
It hasn't started yet, so more like a...
Do you think they'll make it?
Hell of a pivot! He nailed it. Boy, you have a place.
Yeah.
I know just the place. They've got a morning slot that could use a kick. You talk sports.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I'll do my hot sports Tate.
The North Korea summit.
Everything's weird, man. Everything's just weird.
Morgan Freeman.
That's disappointing.
That was a bit surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey Weinstein.
Oh yeah, there was an update on him, right? He's going to
turn himself in.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, because he was going to be
number 11.
He was going to be charged in New York State.
Yep.
So he beat him to the punch, turned himself in.
Yeah. And then finally, Michelle and Barack Obama.
Oh, they got a Netflix show, right?
Like a Netflix deal. I don't know if it's going to be one show or multiple shows, but it's like an overall deal with Netflix.
Is it like Meet the Obamas? Where it's
I don't know. Is it going to be like
the Osbournes?
Yeah, where it's going to be Barack just struggling with technology.
Yeah.
And then
how do I make this work?
Malia and Sasha like trying to hide drug use or something.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah, right? Weird though. I mean, it's a modern president though. It's a modern thing for a modern president. I mean, Netflix wasn't even around.
Our current president was on a reality show for how many years? So it's not. I mean, it's not that surprising, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that.
Does this take over? Like, is this going to be the new book deal? Because that's what happens. You leave office, the next day you sign a book deal. You have a book out within the year about your time in office.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Is a Netflix show the new book deal?
Might be.
Before that, Harvey Weinstein, obviously I'd argue he's the one who kicked off at his cost, at his doing, the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
Accused by dozens of women of sexual harassment and assault. And finally was charged in New York State.
With, what was he charged with?
That's a very good question.
Or was it?
I don't know if one of them was rape, but I feel like one of them was. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he turned himself in. $1 million bail. So he turned himself in around 9:30, went in front of the judge, made $1 million bail, and was released in about 30 minutes. And somebody stuck around. And one of the funnier stories was the case after his was a guy who had been held for 4 days because he couldn't pay a $195 marijuana ticket, something like that.
Sure.
Had been held in jail for 4 days while Harvey Weinstein turns himself in, pays $1 million, gets out that day.
How does that work?
Charged with rape and other abuse allegations.
Wow.
Other abuse counts months after allegations of sexual assault.
So you got to assume that I'm surprised that because he obviously has the means to, if he wants to, he could disappear. I would think, right?
Yeah. So
he's got millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, I wonder how he got bail so easily. Because you essentially have to prove you're not a flight risk. Well, this guy is a flight risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I don't know if he has the money he once did, but he covered $1 million bail. But the company's bankrupt. I don't think they were bought out by anybody. I don't think he got a big payout.
Yeah.
They've been nearly bankrupted a few times, but so I don't know. Maybe, but yeah, finally, maybe a day in court, he still defends and calls those accusations lies.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that'll be an interesting one. It'll be interesting to watch.
I wonder if it's is it statute of limitations based on like essentially which women gets their day in court?
I have no idea.
You know, because the accusations and allegations are high in number.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. It wasn't 25 years ago.
Yeah, and it's the same thing as Cosby. The majority of those women are never did get their day in court outside of one woman from 2004. I'm guessing it's a statute of limitations thing. Before that, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, that was.
Did you read that article?
I didn't. I know that I just know that there have been a bunch of accusations. What was the?
It's harassment. A couple of women did absolutely accuse him of like him trying to put his hand up a skirt.
Okay.
But the article really touched on, and this is one that I didn't fully understand. Like at one of his company's retreats or something, he had all the employees lined up, and he would just walk and stand right in front of your face really close and look you up and down. And I get that it's weird and eccentric, but to me...
Like, what was the... for what? Like, for what purpose?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea. But people are saying, well, he only did it to some women and this and that. It's just weird. I absolutely can see what he did wrong. There's no question about it. But again, he's another one who has adamantly denied having any wrongdoing, whatever. But another one was his just abuse, not like actual sexual assault, but him telling his business partner woman, like, if you want to be taken seriously, you can't dress like that, things like that. I wonder how far this goes, like in terms of new actors and celebrities and politicians, whatever, that come out with these allegations. It's a weird situation because you can't not believe a victim.
No.
There's no reason to not believe them. But there are going to end up being, and there already have been, obviously, lives ruined on both sides of everything that's happening. Do you think it's over? Is it just starting?
I don't think it's over by far. I think that I think we're kind of at the point where finally there's that cultural shift.
Sure.
Where, hopefully because there's so many things related to this. It's the whole pay gap thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like women in Hollywood have obviously been treated like absolute garbage,
second rate forever,
for such a long time. And I think that it's unfortunate that it had to come to this, but I think that we're finally at a point where that's going to shift, and women will start being treated a lot more, with actual respect in that industry, which is crazy that they're not. Because it's so high profile.
Yeah, and thus far it's come off as it's a generational thing too. The overwhelming majority are older men.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's been a shift in Hollywood over the last few years. Outside of like Ben Affleck, who's still in his 40s, you're not seeing any of these about the hot new 20-something actor for the most part, right? So hopefully, you'd hope that this is a trend that has perished with the generation before it. Yeah,
I mean, unfortunately, it took a generation dying off for it to happen.
Right, and now a generation being forced into retirement as well. So before that, the North Korea summit went from on to off to maybe
to possibly back on.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I read the letter that Trump sent to Kim Jong-un, and Very weird.
Very weird.
Very weird.
You think you'd have a PR guy for that?
Yeah. Yeah, it struck me as strange reading it. Like, is this... Do you want... Why is he praising this man?
It's so weird.
I mean, I get it. Like, you don't want to be like, hey, Dick, we're not going to meet because you did this.
But he already has. He's called him Rocket Man on Twitter for years. So, honestly, this is a chance at history. And Trump supporter, not anti-Trump, a sit down with the leader of North Korea is a massive deal. That hasn't happened in, do you have any idea when the last one was?
No clue.
From a sitting U.S. president or politician. This would be a huge deal, and it would be a shame to see it wasted on some name calling. So it seems like it might happen again.
I just hope that if it does happen, like, we can send somebody else.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, I mean, maybe hold that one. Like, Trump, he's just sick. Oh, his flight, tried to land, but there's some fog. So here, talk to Roger. He'll get it all straightened out for you.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, it was supposed to be June 12th in Singapore, and then it was canceled, and now maybe back on. And there was a briefing that was recorded by a White House aide saying that, there's no way, if it's back on, there's no way they could make the June 12th date because there's too much information to go over and essentially prepare him for negotiations and talking with Kim Jong-un, which should tell you a lot that they probably fear that he would be overmatched.
Right, yeah. Well, he tends to, seems like he doesn't really do his homework with a lot of things.
Yeah. But then Trump came out later that day and said, nope, June 12th is very possible. Nobody ever said that, even though there's an audio recording of that. So who knows? It could happen. It's probably better if they didn't say when and where it was going to happen, especially in a country like Singapore. I don't know what their security's like.
Yeah.
I had my food tested, my fruit snacks tested for bomb-making materials on the way back home from New Jersey.
That's right, your idiot candy. What did you call it? What was it?
Oh, the Mike and Ike's.
Mike and Ike's.
Great candy.
God.
But I don't know if it's that...
It's barely above good and plenty.
I don't know if it's the same in Singapore.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their security is like. I guess, I just don't know. I can't comment on it.
This feels like when presidents would go to Iraq or Afghanistan, they wouldn't announce it because they didn't want anybody to know when they were going to be there.
When Bush went there on, it was like Christmas Eve.
Yeah, yep. So
and they changed like the call signal of Air Force One.
Yeah.
So nobody would know that it was Air Force One.
It's massively dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is just as dangerous. Two world leaders.
Yeah.
In one place is ripe for an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And first and foremost, Steve, the upcoming NBA Finals.
Oh, boy. I mean, you got LeBron. Mm-hmm. He's doing his thing, man.
Yeah.
And then you got, on the other side...
What'd you think of that game the other night, huh?
You got Steph Curry.
Yeah, he's in the West, yeah.
He's hooping around.
He's hooping it up.
Hooping it up.
Game 6, Cleveland-Boston the other night. Boston up 3-2, Steve. LeBron drops a 46 bomb.
Wait, they're only up 3-2? Like
in a 7-game series.
Well, like low-scoring game? Okay.
Yeah, early on.
What was final score?
Real explosion towards the end. It was like 96-85.
Like 9-6?
Yeah, right. No, LeBron dropped a 46 in possibly his last game.
A 46-footer?
Yeah.
Or a 46-pointer?
That's like
Are we talking
half court.
Rock and Jock?
Yes.
Okay, so what was that?
Slam-a-jamma.
So that rim's probably, like 50 feet high?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to do... there's trampolines.
Okay. Oh, so it's a...
It's like slam ball.
Slam ball, yeah. That was it.
And then throw it off the wall and catch it and slam it in. And then they call it a slam-a-jamma.
Yeah.
Drops a 46-point performance in Game 6, possibly his last game in a Cleveland Cavalier uniform. Game 7, Boston. Boston without their two best players, though, Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, out for the season. Nobody expected Boston to be here yet. Here they are, Game 7 at home against the best player in the universe for the right to lose to Golden State or the Houston Rockets. Now, don't even get me going on the Houston Rockets. Talk about laying an egg last night, Steve. Game 6, Western Conference Finals. James Harden, nowhere to be found. Possible MVP player.
I'd rather listen to myself eat cheese.
Goes like 4 of 21 last night. The Rockets, 17
look at that.
lead in the first quarter.
You know how it...
losing by 29 points. That's a 46-point swing.
You know how the music always starts at an hour and 44 minutes.
Ran 3 of the top 5 best players on the universe. They can't.
Oh, my God.
You need an absolute miracle to be able to stop all of them. Don't even count Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala.
You done?
Game 7.
All right, folks. Our apologies for this week. This one just fell apart. Fell apart quick.
Yeah. Not on our fault. Not our fault. Meticulously planned.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't have planned this one better. Just didn't work out, though. We still managed to go for an hour and 45 minutes.
You need another 15 you want to hit too?
No. This should have been cut off long ago. So we're going to cut it off right now.
I can get to 2.
We'll be back next week.
Belmont Stakes through 2 weeks
will
from
be
yesterday.
Moderately better.
Yeah.
Click on the link in the show description if you want to donate to the GoFundMe.
Yes, please do. It's a big deal. This is our chance at local Ohio neighborhood exposure.
Yes. All right.
We're never going to have this opportunity again.
Never again in the history of this podcast. Talk to you next week.